A new class of mixed martial artists is on the rise, hungry to showcase their skills. Destined to become champions, and determined to make it as an elite fighter. The future of mixed martial arts is here on Shoxc Elite Challenger Series.
The legendary seaside resort and casino paradise known as Atlantic City, New Jersey is where we begin another exciting year of mixed martial arts action on Showtime. Situated on the world-famous boardwalk, we welcome you inside the Trump Taj Mahal, site of Shoxc, where the next generation of Elite XC superstars continue their quest to greatness. 5 intriguing matchups comprise tonight's card. A middleweight bout between Hawaii's Koloche and Frenchman Frederic Belleton kicks things off. There should be dynamite in the distaff division when Kedzie collides with Tonya Evinger. Bobby McMasters and Quach will clash at a catch weight of 150 pounds. Former reality show contestant Sammy the Squeeze Morgan takes on the dynamic Daley from England. And in the main event, we should see some fistic fireworks as the highly regarded Eddie Alvarez makes his Shoxc debut against a battle-tested veteran from Hawaii in Ross the Boss Ebanez. Hello there, I'm Mauro Ranallo. Glad to be back with you once again. You know, 2007 marked the beginning of Showtime's foray into mixed martial arts, and this year we promise to deliver even more excitement. I'm happy to be joined, as always, by the fight professor, Stephen Quadros. And Stephen, tonight we get to see Eddie Alvarez in the main event. Here's a guy whose look and talent should lead to him being a big-time player in MMA.
It would seem so, because he's got natural athletic ability, natural punching power, and he's bringing that secret weapon of all those people from Philadelphia that are coming here to see him, and that's going to put pressure on his opponent. He can hardly wait to get inside that cage.
No surprise, the same exciting fight you always say. High pace. I'm going to make it high pace and make it as violent as possible for everyone out there watching.
While there is plenty of buzz surrounding the debut of Alvarez, his opponent, Ross the Boss Ebanez, should not be taken lightly.
No, not at all, because he's got a lot of TKOs on his record as well. He's faced a lot of world-class competition, and he trains on a day-to-day basis with the legendary BJ Penn. He seems to think that he can match up really well against Eddie Alvarez.
Well, he's going to see a lot of punching. I'll be counter-punching, moving, and, you know, if it goes to the ground, I'll take him down. And if I get put on my back, it's not a big thing.
It has all the hallmarks of a marvelous main event. Stephen, do you see it going the distance?
Well, I knew you were going to ask me that question. I'm going to have to answer it. No, I don't. I think this is going to end in a TKO.
All right now I want to introduce someone who, well, really needs no introduction. The prototypical mixed martial artist Frank Shamrock has amassed 23 wins in his illustrious career. His latest victory came against hated rival Phil Baroni last summer in San Jose. He threatened to put the New York Badass to sleep and then proceeded to do just that, beating him to the punch, taunting him before turning the New York Badass's lights out in round 2 with a rear naked choke. And here he is, live and in living color, the man, the myth, and dare I say it, the legend, Frank Shamrock. How are you, Frank?
I'm doing fantastic, Mauro.
All right, Frank, the last time we saw you, you were limping out of the cage in San Jose following your dramatic victory over Phil Baroni. How is your health these days?
My health is great. I may have been carried out, but I'm ready to come back and do some more damage.
All right, the next fight is coming up March 29th, HP Pavilion in San Jose, a fight a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. You take on a guy who's given you a run for your money when it comes to popularity in San Jose, Kung Lee. Who's going to sell more tickets for this fight?
Are you kidding me? In San Jose, it's the Shamrock Way. Everybody knows that's my city, that's my arena, and this is my sport.
All right, well, Showtime has given you a microphone. Would you mind hanging out and adding some insight and analysis tonight?
There is nothing I'd rather be doing than hanging out with you boys on Showtime and Shoxc.
All right, let's go now to our ring announcer, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where tonight Pro Elite and Showtime present Shoxc Elite Challenger Series. Brought to you by Elite XC, Rockstar Energy Drink, Never Back Down the movie, out in theaters March 14th, and New Way Liquid Protein by IDS, revolutionizing protein supplementation. And now, Atlantic City, New Jersey, it's time to rattle this cage!
The opening bout features a clash of styles in the middleweight division as traditional martial artist Frederic Belleton of France takes on tough as nails Koloche in what on paper should be a tremendous tilt.
I love mixed martial arts because it is a gathering of everything I have done. I can use my knees, I can use my elbows, my punch, my throws, my takedowns, everything goes. And I think that's the ultimate. I've always been fighting since I'm 14 years old. I have some pretty good skill, footwork-wise, and my legs are pretty nasty. I have the power to knock out my opponents. So I think it's a good time for both of us to meet and see what's going to happen. I don't have to hate my guys to fight them. I fight them, I win, I find a way to win the situation, but I don't hate them. But I will bring the heat on you.
Frederic Belleton is a rarity in that he's successfully made the transition from traditional martial arts to MMA. And he's got a good record of 5-1, including a dramatic 24-second first-round KO with a kick to the head in his last fight.
Yes, and in fact, Belleton in his native France was the equivalent of a state police officer. He's been involved in many high-risk situations, was involved in drug raids, and while serving as a national officer, he was also a member of the French National Police Force Savate team that competed around Europe. Frank, what exactly is Savate for those who don't know?
Well, Savate is a beautiful French martial art, and it was created on the docks. They wear a shoe, which is very unique in the martial arts world. They wear a shoe to set up attacks, to kick the legs, to kick the head. It's a lot of finesse, it's a lot of movement, and he's going to need it out there.
Stephen, how do you think his traditional martial arts background will help him here in this mixed martial arts event?
Well, I think it's going to make him very elusive because his opponent really needs him to stand right in front of him so he can get tagged with those big bombs.
Frederic Belleton takes on, well, a noted brawler from the islands of Hawaii.
The thing that comes to my head when I'm done ring is just to have fun, just go out there and scrap. And trading with somebody just feels good to me. I get to express myself in the ring. I look for open shots, either breadbasket or kidney shot, anybody shot. And when I hit them, then I look at their face. If I see their face squint down or if they make a nice sound, like, ugh, then I know I got them. What drives me is my support, my fans, my family, my daughter. My prediction to my fans out there is probably a first-round knockout due to a body shot. For me to fight in MMA is everything to me. I love it. I like doing it. Just like I was put on this planet to do it, to entertain people.
Koloche comes from Waianae, Hawaii, a tough blue-collar community west of Honolulu on the island of Oahu's western shoreline. This guy started his career as a 250-pound heavyweight, losing his pro debut to IFL star Collegiate Hall of Fame wrestler Reese Andy. But he's lost 70 pounds, is now unbeaten as a middleweight at 4-0.
And in his last fight in front of a hometown crowd on the undercard of Elite XC Uprising, Koloche faced rugged Jeff Cox. Kala wasted no time in getting Cox up against the fence and unloaded undefended power punches until the referee had no choice but to stop the thing. Koloche isn't subtle. He uses bombs to make his point.
Frank, it comes down to the Frenchman being the technician, the Hawaiian being the brawler. Give us the keys to victory tonight.
Well, Hose has got to close the distance. He's got to use that cage effectively. He's got to trap this guy. Frederic can move. That guy can dance. He's a Savate player. He's going to kick high, low. He's going to use range and distance for his advantage. And Frederic, he's got to use those angles. He's got to get on his bicycle and stop that forward motion from that crazy Hose.
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape for this opening bout tonight here on Shoxc. Frederic Belleton is 13 years older than his opponent. He'll have the reach advantage. Host weighed in at 184.6 pounds, while Belleton came in at 184.3 pounds. Let's go over the rules now for Shoxc. 3 judges will score the fight based equally on striking, grappling, effective aggression, and cage control. The scoring will be done based on a 10-point must system. The winner of each round gets 10 points, the loser 9 or less. No knees to the head of a grounded opponent. Only the referee can stop the fight. Here once again is your cage announcer, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing to you first out of the blue corner, he stands tall at 6 feet 1 inch, weighing in at 184.3 pounds. He is a Savate kickboxing specialist with a professional record of 5 wins, 1 loss, representing South Shore Sport Fighting from Stoughton, Massachusetts. Please welcome Frederic Belleton. And his opponent out of the red corner, standing at 5 feet 9 inches, weighing in at 184.6 pounds. This freestyle brawler has a professional record of 4 wins and 1 loss, representing Bad Intentions. Fighting out of Waianae, Hawaii, he is Koloche. Your referee in charge of the action, Dan Mergelada.
We are set for the opening bout in the middleweight division. 3 5-minute rounds to determine a winner. Referee Dan Mergelada signals for the bell, the 2 touch gloves, and this should be a very interesting clash of styles.
I think so, and Frank, you remarked that this isn't the biggest cage. Who does that favor?
Well, it definitely favors Hose on this one. Frederic's got to get around. He's got to use those legs. He's got to use that movement. He's doing it a little bit here, but I'd like to see him do it even more.
Hose attempts a Superman punch. Belleton goes downstairs with a low cut kick.
And that low kick was a hard shot.
Very hard. That was nice.
Belleton has to use side-to-side movement and make sure he doesn't end up with his back to the cage.
Of course, with that reach advantage, it is imperative that Hose closes the distance. Tries to do so there, but a little sluggish, not really committing himself, Frank.
He's having trouble getting around those kicks, and you see that one hurt him right there. I think Belleton's got to stick that jab more, too, and try to control that head space.
If people thought that Savate was weak in the king department, he just proved it wrong.
And unleashes another kick, and this time Hose tries to jump over it. Belleton now with a left kick.
That's a sign of pain right there.
Frederic Belleton considers himself a counterattacker, has done well to dictate the pace of those kicks on a nice straight right hand by Hose. And now they begin to unload a quick flurry with 1.5 minutes gone in the first round.
That kind of explosiveness is what Hose needs to integrate into this match, because staying on the outside like this favors Belleton.
And Frank, it's amazing the crowd will react to the loud sound a kick makes, but it's those quiet thuds that are the painful ones.
You can hear him go through the mat and extend outwards. People love that sound, and it sounds damaging. It is damaging.
2 minutes now gone in the opening round. Good body combination now. Hose delivering those wild shots. The uppercut tags Belleton, who's on his back pedal, now tries to go to the tie clinch with some knees, but Hose relentless on the attack.
He's got to wrap him up. Belleton's got to wrap him up, or he's got to get back on that bicycle.
And Hose is known for his body shots. He says his favorite punch is the one to the breadbasket, and we've seen him hit that target a few times tonight, Stephen.
Yeah. I think Belleton has got to be sure that if he gets up against the fence, do as Frank said, wrap him up.
Wrap him up. And keep that leg kick going. That leg kick is doing wonderful damage.
And now Hose mixes it up with a knee and uppercut, a straight right. Belleton seems to be overmatched in the punching department so far by Hose, but we kind of thought that it would come down to the brutal punching power of Hose and the kicking prowess of Belleton.
But there's one thing I'm impressed with, not that it's anything to brag about, Belleton's got a good chin.
He's got a great chin.
And it appears that Belleton may, in fact, well, there's some swelling around the left eye.
He's hurting quite a bit. You can see him blinking a lot. He took a couple shots right on the chin. He joked to us and said that he had a big chin, but he'd keep it tight.
Redness nails another shot to the breadbasket by Shoxc. Shoxc has been waiting as the jab finds its mark by Belleton. Shoxc has been waiting to fight ruthless Robbie Lawler for the Icon middleweight title. There have been many stop and goes there as that fight has been postponed many times because of injuries and whatnot. So Shoxc was keeping himself in shape, took this fight to kick off the new year of Shoxc action on Showtime. The Superman punch. Belleton will now try to take advantage of this situation.
He's a brown belt in judo, so let's see what he can do on the mat if he decides to stay there.
I think that was a mistake to let Shoxc up right there.
Shoxc tags him again with the right hand, and you guys are right. That beard is being tested, and so far so good. Although how much can he take? Shoxc now beginning to unload. Uppercuts and right hooks into the final 40 seconds of the opening round.
When a guy's built like Koloche, he can really deliver enough punches to hurt a guy even when he's shielding the punch.
You know, Frank, we talked about Shoxc staying or trying to stay in shape for the fight with Lawler, although it appears now
He's
his
gassed.
hands are
He's
down
gassed.
around his waist.
You put your hands on.
Right hand sends Belleton crashing to the canvas. Shoxc rings his bell, and this fight is finito.
He may have been tired, but he didn't care.
And in a fight in which Belleton took more hits than the Show.com website, it was Shoxc finishing it with a straight right hand right on the kisser. And Koloche Shoxc has now got his sights set on ruthless Robbie Lawler's Icon Sport middleweight title.
Belleton gave a good fight, but he just got tagged too many times, and that last shot was so clean.
That was right on the button. He was doing great leg work, though, and I would have liked to see him work that push kick and try to keep his body away, and he never really did that. He went for the leg attack, but he didn't try to stop the body.
Even that, what I expect, I think some more high kicks.
Early in the match, Belleton was doing the right thing by chopping away at the legs of the puncher and Shoxc. He needed to keep him outside. That way he could really crack, and that started to really hurt the legs of Koloche.
He was, and he was saying it was a good shot there. But what he didn't do after that kick was to jab his way out, and he let Shoxc come inside and just tee off, working low and high, picking his head up with uppercuts, and he finally fatigued him a little bit. Once he was fatigued, both Shoxc and Belleton was fatigued, but he stepped right in, and that straight right was on the button.
The knockout was so nice, we show it twice, and what a way to kick off the new year of mixed martial arts action on Showtime. Koloche Shoxc packing a lot of Hawaiian punch in that opening contest. Let's make it official. Here is your cage announcer, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata stops this contest at 4 minutes, 32 seconds of the first round. Your winner by knockout, Koloche Shoxc.
Okay, Kala, were the low kicks a problem early on?
Oh, but I gotta give him respect to his low leg kicks. He gets some weight behind those legs.
What mistake do you think he made?
His hand was low. So I noticed that he didn't like me pressing him, so I just kept on pressing as much as I could.
Man, you've got a bomb in that hand. Do you want Robbie Lawler next?
I just take whoever they turn in front of me, anybody. Robbie Lawler will be fine by anybody.
So you've always said that you would fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, but you've got to have aspirations towards the title, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You are so laid back, but your punch is something else. Congratulations.
Thank you. Like I said, some good stuff. Yeah. I'd like to thank everybody out there who went tuning into the Showtime event for watch the local boys out there. I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsors, all of them, Fire, Kingdom Farms, Fighters Corner, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Rasta Boss, one out of Hawaiian who will take him home with the win. Aloha's.
Okay, everybody, your winner, Koloche Hose.
Koloche hosts delivering final minute fireworks of the opening round as he knocks out Frederic Belleton to improve to 5-1. All 5 of his victories coming via knockout. Coming up next, it's a battle in the women's 140-pound division. Julie Kedzie takes on Tonya Evinger. And the most anticipated rubber match in boxing is coming your way in March on Showtime Championship Boxing.
Fight breaks out right away, and Vasquez in some trouble. Tremendous give and take. Unbelievable. And down goes Marquez. Vasquez decides not to go on. Marquez is the winner. Marquez wailing away at the head of Vasquez. He's going in for the finish. Incredible action. Oh, down goes Marquez.
Vasquez Marquez 3, Saturday, March 1st.
The first 2 were classics. The third promises to be an epic. Vasquez Marquez 3, March 1st on Showtime. It's time for action in the female 140-pound division as triple threat Tonya Evinger tangles with the double tough Julie Kedzie. These 2 women know how to throw down.
I'm going to bring a lot of excitement. I'm going to bring sexiness to the cage, you know, whatever it takes to win. I want the knockout every time. I want the bonus every time, you know, just to get a good hit on somebody, you know, you rock them. That's awesome, you know. It's all out, everything you got, your whole body, everything, all your punches. I just want to keep physical, keep active. Wrestling I've been in for 13 years, and it's an awesome sport. I think MMA is a great place for wrestlers. Gives us somewhere to go after wrestling, gives us a sport that we're good at, where we can dominate at. You know, we just got to pick up the rest. You know, jiu-jitsu, I think jiu-jitsu is easy for me to pick up because I was a wrestler. So, just, you know what, I'm just going to come out balls out, give everything I got, use all the skills I got to win a match.
Tonya Evinger grew up a tomboy, beating up her brothers on the family farm, and in fact she took it all the way to school, guys. She was a member of the boys varsity team in high school in wrestling. She was the first ever 3-time champion of the high school national wrestling tournament for girls, placed 2nd in the U.S. National Freestyle Wrestling Tournament. She's wrestled all over the world, but now she wants to be a force in mixed martial arts.
At Elite XC Uprising, Tonya Evinger clashed with the face of women's MMA, Gina Carano. Evinger looked great early on, taking advantage with her strong wrestling skill, and she hopped into a guillotine choke, of which she hoped to end the fight, but wouldn't you know it, Gina Carano popped out, got back control, and sunk in her own rear naked choke to finish the fight. Although not victorious, Tonya gained a lot of respect for her willingness to stand and trade with Gina Carano, the popular one.
Frank, after the fight, Evinger said she had a mental lapse in that Carano tilt. We all know that 90% of the fight game is mental, something she probably has to work on.
She does. She says she gets real bad nerves before her fights and before wrestling. It's part of who she is. But when you grow as a fighter and you learn confidence, and I think the Carano fight gave her confidence. I'd like to see what she does tonight.
Her opponent made history with Gina Carano in February of 2007.
What I bring to MMA is passion. I come in here for the battle, I come in here for the war, and when I fight, I'm living my passion and I'm living my dream. Every time I step into the ring or the cage, I have something to prove, but it's not usually to the crowd or the other person. I'm proving to myself that I have what it takes, and I'm proving to myself that I can be the best mixed martial artist in the world. Julie Kedzie is the cheerleader and the warrior. Winning is when you've executed everything the way it needs to be. Winning is not the be-all, end-all of my experience. What I want is the battle. That's what I'm in there for. I'm in there to fight my heart out, and I want them to raise my hand. That's what I'm doing it for, to get my hand raised. But if I don't, and I fought my heart out, then I haven't lost.
Well, they say blondes have more fun, but Julie Kedzie has decided to make the move to the dark side. Yes, she has dyed her hair black, making a statement saying that she has been reborn as a fighter because since her monumental tilt with Gina Carano in the first ever show of Elite XC, she went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, recruited by the very estimable Greg Jackson. So she feels that Jackson has infused a lot more confidence in her game. And, you know, not only is she a great fighter, she is very, very cerebral, a well-educated young lady.
And it was at that first ever Elite XC title Destiny that Julie Kedzie tangled with the Muay Thai sensation, Gina Carano. It was a back and forth battle that saw Kedzie be elusive but willing to trade with Carano, which many thought was a suicide mission. She also frustrated Carano on the ground and proved that she was very competitive against the high level of mixed martial art competition.
Julie is rocking the dark side, and I love how she's been reborn. She went to Greg Jackson. She's got confidence like nothing else. She says she's also terrified before her match, but she lets it come out on the ground in technique.
Let's go to the tail of the tape for this female 140-pound division contest. Julie Kedzie is 2 years older than Evinger. Evinger 2 inches taller than Kedzie. Kedzie weighed in at 139.7 pounds. Evinger came in just over at 140.2. All right, let's take you up once again to cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. It's scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds and a special 140-pound women's attraction. Introducing to you first out of the blue corner, standing tall at 5 feet 7 inches, weighing 140.2 pounds. This wrestler boxer has a professional record of 5 wins, 2 losses. Representing Lion's Den and fighting out of Reno, Nevada, please welcome Tonya Evinger. Her opponent out of the red corner, standing at 5 feet 5 inches, weighing in at 139.7 pounds. This mixed martial artist has a professional record of 11 wins and 6 losses. Representing Team Greg Jackson from Albuquerque, New Mexico, she is Julie Kedzie. Your referee in charge of the action, Kevin Mulhall.
This female fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Both these ladies have changed camps since their losses to Gina Carano. As we have told you, Kedzie is hooked up with Team Greg Jackson in Albuquerque.
Are you ready? Let's fight.
Evinger, after fighting in the Philippines for Ken Shamrock's Lion's Den squad, has made the move to California, and immediately Evinger takes down Kedzie into side control.
Well, this is where Kedzie wants to be submission-wise. I don't know if she wants to be jammed up in the cage like that, but submissions are definitely her game.
And it didn't take long for the wrestler to do her thing, Stephen.
Can't say I'm surprised that Tonya took her down like that, but Tonya is always bragging about how she's going to stand up and bang. I guess she changed that at the last minute.
That was her strategy.
Work it. There you go. There you go.
Looks like we got Kimura going on.
Kimura hold. It's awful deep, and if she doesn't get it, she's still got her face exposed on that one side. But she's
starting to
jump now.
Drop those bombs into the face, now looking for the rear naked choke.
She's almost got complete back control, Frank.
Well, Julie's got to slide her back off and put it flat on the mat. You can win this game if your back's on the mat. If she's on your back, if Tonya remains on your back, she's going to be a terrible position.
1 minute is gone in the opening round. Tonya Evinger controlling the action on the ground, looking for the rear naked choke. Julie Kedzie, what does she have to do here, Frank, to escape harm's way?
She's got to keep her cool, and she's got to get that hand control off. Tonya doesn't exactly have her back. She's got the side of her back. If she loses that chin position, if she loses that hand game, she's going to lose this choke.
Another thing that Kedze's doing is staying down low. She's not up high on the back mount.
And she seems
but
to
this
now,
isn't good.
And
no,
she's under
she
the
seems
chin
to
now.
be under the chin, yeah, looking to sink in the choke. Of course, Julie Kedzie, an indomitable fighting spirit. She is a gamer, and she is forced to tap out with 1:16 left in the opening round. Tonya Evinger submits Julie Kedzie with a rear naked choke. No mental lapses in this one.
No, she was on it and dominating fashion. Wow.
Kedzie came into this contest unbeaten since her fight with Corrado. Since she hooked up with Team Greg Jackson, she had gone 3-0. That winning streak ends here tonight, while Tonya Evinger improves to 7-2, hooked up with the Lion's Den, and of course someone very familiar to you, Frank Shamrock. Your brother Ken is in her corner.
Shamrock MMA, it's pretty darn strong.
Gotta say that Evinger executed a perfect game plan. Came in, took the fight to the ground, worked for the Kimura, got back control, and then worked until she got that choke. Here it is. She's going to throw that overhand right, get the clinch, body lock, and a twist and turn right into side mount position. But Kedzie was going for something from the bottom here.
She was throwing her legs up. She had somewhat of an arm position, but you see her lose her arm there. And with arm control like that, that was the beginning of raining down punches. That's what convinced her to give the back. Once that back position was set, Tonya was all over her.
And Julie did extremely well at first, keeping down low, but once that arm got under the throat, it was all over.
One more look at it. Tonya Evinger slipping her right arm under the chin of Kedzie, forcing Kedzie to tap. You know, I was thinking, Frank, your brother Ken, I might want to talk to you about something involving you and your brother later when we're off the air. I have an idea.
An idea, huh?
Yeah.
You mean maybe like brothers fighting?
Maybe. Let's go now to our cage announcer, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest comes to a halt at 1 minute 43 seconds of the first round for your winner by tap out caused by a rear naked choke, Tonya Evinger.
Okay, Tonya, it seemed like you had a really clear game plan. How did that go?
You know what? It went exactly like I planned. I knew Julie's been picking up her game, and I watched a couple of her fights, and as soon as she gets hit, she comes back with straight punches, and you know what? I was down for that, but the clinch was just too easy, so it felt to me like she was wanting to go down, so I just made sure I got a good position.
Now, we saw you go for the Kimura, then she turned her back to escape, and once she got back control, she almost got out.
You know what? I felt that I didn't. She got her chin down pretty good, but you know what? I had my legs in, and that's all I did in wrestling is leg control, leg riding, so I was really comfortable there. I just didn't want to mess up like I did last time.
Well, you didn't, and what goes around comes around, and you got choked out. Now you choked somebody out. How important was the change over to Ken Shamrock's Lion's Den gym?
You know what? It was probably the best place I've ever been. MMA training is just off the hook there. I couldn't ask for a better coach. I couldn't ask for better teammates, you know. It just all around was awesome.
Tonya, impressive win. Let's hear it for Tonya Evinger.
Hey, thanks, Tap and Sleep. I want to thank Tap and Sleep for coming out and watching me tonight.
Coming into this fight, the question mark surrounded Tonya Evinger's ground game, her finishing skills on the ground. Well, she answered that question tonight as she made Julie Kedzie tap out. And there she slaps hands with the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. And Stephen Quadros, the fight professor, is still in the cage with a special guest.
I'm here with the legend himself, or one of the legends, Ken Shamrock. Ken, how did you like the way Tonya did?
I tell you what, man, it's nice to see when you see them go in there and put the work into the gym, and they get in the ring here and they just come in here nice and poised and controlled. Not one time did she ever panic. She knew where she had her, where she wanted her, and she just let the girl work herself into the choke.
Okay, Ken, I've known you for a long time, since '96 in Puerto Rico. You look like you're in real good shape. talk to me. Are you going to be fighting pretty soon?
Yes. March 8th in London, England, I'm going to be fighting. And it's my road back. You know, last couple of years I've had some frustrating times with some injuries, and I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do. I get to get back. I had some surgery. I feel strong. I feel great. I've been training. Every time I go into the gym, I'm getting better, which the time before it seemed like I had to take a week off every time I went and had one hard day. Now it's like I'm getting in better shape. I'm getting stronger. My skills are coming together. Come March 8th in London, England, man, I'm going to let all my fans out there who have followed me over the past couple years, who have been frustrated with me, this fight is for you, man. We're going to bring it back. I'm on my way back. I'm starting in London, England, and I'm coming back here, and I'm going to start rolling some heads.
Ken Shamrock sounds fired up to me. And it's going to be in Cage Rage in England. You're fighting Buzz Berry. He's a big, strong guy. How are you going to take him apart, or what's going to be the game plan?
Well, I mean, if anybody's followed my record, when I dropped down to 205, I struggled. I'm just not a 205-pound fighter. If you look at my record, when I'm at heavyweight, it's impeccable. So I'm going to stay at heavyweight, and I'm going to start knocking out some of these big boys. I'm going to get myself back into shape, get back in the ring, start in London, England, come back to the USA, and if everything works out all right, I might drop down to 205 for one more fight just to set the record straight.
Just to set it straight, he will be fighting at Cage Rage here on Showtime, March 8th. Ken Shamrock, ladies and gentlemen.
Ken Shamrock, a newest acquisition to the Pro Elite family, and we've got live stream fights and video on demand from top events such as Elite XC, Shoxc, Cage Rage, Icon Sport, and so much more. Visit show.com/Pro Elite. Coming up next, we're going to have some lightning quick lightweights go at it. Catch weight of 150 pounds. Bobby McMasters set to duke it out with Quach. And then February 16th, Elite XC presents an old school slugfest on Showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
the legendary street fighter
from Miami, Florida,
from Huntington Beach, California.
And here is the one and only
You know, I'm gonna be focused on Tank, watching his movement, watching his breathing. I'm just gonna be set on him, you know, and I'm gonna just seek and destroy.
Listen, I've been the toughest guy around this neck of the woods for a long, long time, and I just didn't put it on the internet.
Tank and I, we got a point to prove. You know, he's a brawler. I'm a brawler.
I've been in with the big boys and not the little kids down at the boatyard.
You know, it's this. You know, who's the baddest man on the street?
He's there. He's tough, but he's got a lot of learning to do. He needs to go to school, and he needs to go to school for quite a while.
I'm gonna hurt you, man. I'm coming to hurt. I'm coming to break an arm, break a leg.
I'm tough, I'm strong. I think you know, I won't look the other way. I'm not afraid of any man that walks this earth. You want to step up, we'll go.
Better man is gonna win in everything. Who trains the hardest? Who wants it the most? You know, that's who's gonna win. That's who's gonna be victorious.
Yo, Kimbo, let me tell you something. It's time to step up to the big dogs. I'm waiting for you.
Tank can say what the hell he want to say. You know what I'm saying? Come February 16th, I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna slick rap. I'm just bringing my, you know what I'm saying? I'm bringing my haymakers with me. You know what I'm saying? And we lock and we loaded. You know, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shoot these off in the ring. I'm gonna shoot these off in the cage. I'm gonna let these here speak for me.
And then the fun will begin.
It's the old school brawler meeting the internet fighting sensation. I can't wait. February 16th, street certified. Elite XC on Showtime. There is Eddie Alvarez. Plenty of fan support at the Trump Taj Mahal. The boy from Philadelphia, ready to make his much-anticipated Shoxc debut in the main event tonight. Coming up later against Ross the Boss Ebanez. Next up, military veteran Bobby McMasters served his country in Iraq. Tonight, he enters a different battleground against diminutive dynamo Quach. A couple of lightweights who are as quick as lightning are about to get it on.
When I'm in the gym, I'm comfortable there. It's where I like to be. I like to train every day. I enjoy it. I think they're going to see some nice kicks from me. I'm going to try to put on some head kicks, some leg kicks, some body kicks. I want to hurt somebody. It's what I want to do. This is my life. I'm fighting for my life right here. Pressure is the people at home watching me on TV, all my friends, my family. You know, I want to win for them. I want to win for everybody out there. I just got to try to fight my best, fight my game, try to lay the leather on them.
Quach hails from Huntington Beach, California. Usually fights at featherweight. First fight at 150 pounds. He's an MMA trainer at No Limits Gym in Irvine, California, and he credits his new trainer, Colin Oyama, for turning his fortunes around in his mixed martial arts career. Since hooking up with Quinton Jackson's former trainer, he's won 5 fights in a row.
Yeah, and this is Bao's 21st fight. But he reached that turning point 5 fights ago. And when it turned into the Colin Oyama show, it really helped him. Hasn't lost since. And he claims to improve all aspects of his game. But I feel his striking has shown the biggest improvement.
Well, he does have good striking, and he's got strong kicks both left and right. So look to him to control positioning with striking. He needs to use the jab. He needs to set up those kicks, not just throw them from the outside. They're a little bit too easy to see, and he needs to keep this fight up. I don't think he needs to get into a punch exchange with McMaster, but he needs to keep this fight up.
Quach coming off a victory over former Shoxc fighter Chris David via unanimous decision during a King of the Cage show in October of last year. And there's Colin Oyama in the background. He calls Quach a gym rat. Quach doesn't like the party lifestyle, would rather play boxing video games at home than go out. And as you mentioned, Stephen, really is thankful of what Colin Oyama has been able to do for him as a fighter. Feels his conditioning and his striking has been taken to another level.
Yeah, it really has, because he came in pretty much a submission wrestler at the early part of his career.
His opponent has served his country well in Iraq, a 4-year veteran of the U.S. Marines who looks to definitely make an impact here tonight.
You know, what I do best is just come out with an overwhelming amount of force, you know, and try to blitzkrieg whoever's out there. I mean, no hard feelings, you know, I want to be friends with them almost, but, you know, while I'm in that cage, you know, it's game on. Being a Marine Corps has helped me as far as intensity level, you know, just, you know, discipline and intensity and really conditioning. But as far as fighting goes, you know, I gotta thank all that to, you know, my MMA gym. It could go either way, you know, a good knockout or, you know, possibly the distance. But what you will see is me going in there hard as balls to the walls.
Growing up, Bobby the Wolverine McMaster excelled in several sports, most notably in basketball, but he never envisioned a career in mixed martial arts. In hindsight, his chosen profession makes, well, sense, considering McMaster was the type of kid who would end up turning basketball into basket brawl if his team lost.
And the last time we saw him, he was in against Musson the Technician Corbry, and that was McMaster's opponent in the very first Shoxc event. He used a variety of skills to put Corbry on the defensive early, but it was his aggressiveness that may have been his undoing when he went for a single leg takedown and plopped right into a guillotine choke that ended the fight. And he lost that one, and now he will focus on when to use aggressiveness and when to be cerebral.
And for McMaster, focus is the key word. He's only been in MMA for 3 years, but he's a warrior. He's a true warrior, in and out. I just don't like the way he talks about, am I going to win? Maybe I'm going to win. He needs to go in there and define the fight the way he wants it, clinch this game up, use his boxing, use his wrestling, and use his ground and pound.
All right, let's take you to the numbers for this matchup at 150 pounds. Quach is 2 years older than McMaster. McMaster will have a definitive reach advantage, 4 inches taller than Quach. They both weighed in at the same weight, 151.1 pounds. And now to introduce the combatants, cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey, our next bout is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. It's scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds and is a 150-pound attraction. Introducing to you first out of the blue corner. He stands at 5 feet 4 inches, weighing in at 151.1 pounds. He is a specialist in Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai with a professional record of 11 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. Representing Team Oyama from Huntington Beach, California, please welcome Quach. And his opponent out of the red corner, standing at 5 feet 8 inches tall with a professional record of 8 wins, 2 losses. He is a boxer wrestler representing South Shore Sport Fighting from South Boston, Massachusetts. He is Bobby McMasters. Your referee is Kevin Mulhall.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's fight!
Oh, there's that kick. Welcome to the mental game of fighting, Frank.
How to wake you up.
3 5-minute rounds in this matchup at a catch weight of 150 pounds. Bobby McMaster and Quach. And Quach wasting little time in taking the fight to McMaster.
McMaster came out like a house on fire when he fought Corbry. Now he's pretty much in the opposite mode.
He's in that thinking mode.
Mauro Ranallo along with Stephen Quadros and Frank Shamrock cage side, bringing you all the action of Shoxc.
I think the chess match is going to favor Quach.
I think so too, especially with those leg kicks. You can't take too many of them. He's going to take away the wheels of McMaster. He's going to slow down his hand speed at the same time.
Minute gone in this opening stanza. Quach with that devastating inside leg kick, trying to take away the lead leg of McMaster.
Heavy kicks there by Quach. That's a Colin Oyama specialty.
Tries to deliver a punch-kick combination, and so far Bobby McMaster's been absorbing all kinds of punishment, yet to get on track, going through a feeling-out process. And you said it, Frank, during the pre-fight interviews, questioning whether or not McMaster, his head is in the game. He told us he has a new son, 7-month-old Bob Jr., making him question whether or not he wants a career in mixed martial arts as he's taken down by Quach into the open guard. And really, when you're questioning yourself, that could be very dangerous to your health.
It is, and from him I heard more questions than I heard intentions. And that just didn't sit right with me. He's a wonderful athlete. He's very skilled. He's obviously a warrior. But, you know, when you go in there, it's do or die. It's not maybe, I hope so.
And Stephen, he talked about wanting a career in the Boston Fire Department. So again, you have to wonder, Bobby McMaster, having served his country, and bless him for that, has shown a lot of technique and prowess in the fight against Corbray, but right now is being controlled by Quach in the cross-side position.
Quach has got side mount. He can be patient here. He can think about the key lock. It's right there for him. He can use that as a distraction to get mount, so he can try some ground and pound.
Delivering some short elbows. Now back into the open guard of McMaster, but again, dropping those elbows. Are you a fan of the elbows in mixed martial arts, Mr. Shamrock?
You know, I don't really like them because they cut, and they kind of cut needlessly on the ground. I think a standing elbow is a very technical, very difficult technique to get in. On the ground, it's not that hard, and it ends them way too easy. And I don't like cuts. You know, I want to keep my pretty face. I don't need no cuts. Come on.
Quach working the whizzer on McMaster. McMaster showcasing some of his strength, turning Quach around, but Quach very tenacious in this opening round.
McMaster is leaving the left side of his ribcage open from this position to that knee, and he's already caught one of them.
And Quach is doing great clinch work, short elbows, short knee. And we said it earlier, if he could set up those kicks with that jab, he's going to be much more efficient because he's going to get McMaster to lean back or parry when he lands that big leg kick. It's going to give him a better opening than just throwing it from the outside.
I think McMaster should just start unloading combinations of punches, get Quach moving back, because Quach standing there like this is set to throw a low kick counter every time.
There was a counter kick by McMaster, but you're right, Quach is definitely pressing the action in this fight. A record of 11-8-1, maybe nothing to write home about, but again, having put together 5 consecutive victories under the auspices of Colin Oyama, and we see a renewed sense of confidence in Quach in this matchup.
And I would say my one knock on Quach, he's got wonderful striking, but he's got traditional Muay Thai striking, and he doesn't move his head. And that may catch up to him with a good, clean, tight puncher like McMaster.
Final minute of action here in the opening round.
He's got to set up those kicks. He's got to work that inside game.
Yeah, he's got stiff arm shields for sure, and he's not using any kind of punching combination other than that one. And he got it on the inside, but McMaster gave up the clinch. I think McMaster should try and get the plum here.
30 seconds left in the opening round. And Quach, so far so good against Bobby McMaster. McMaster now trying to control here, looking for the high crotch.
High crotch switch.
Takedown by McMaster. And now we'll get to see Quach from his back. His jiu-jitsu is more of an Americanized version, not as slick as your typical fighter who's trained in Brazil. But Oyama has Quach working with Giba Santana so that he can adopt a more authentic Brazilian jiu-jitsu style. Pretty good round for Quach.
He definitely controlled the action in that. Did major damage with those kicks. I was very impressed with that.
McMasters took control the last 10 seconds, but he didn't really do that much. And I would have to say that Quach definitely won that first round.
He did. And McMasters worked hard at the end for that wrestling. He worked hard for that wrestling. It wasn't his strength and standpoint. He actually got in there and did some serious effort. Wonderful balance by Quach to defend the takedowns.
McMaster may be one of these type guys that needs to get whacked a couple times to get into the second gear. That's not always a good thing the later the fight goes.
The best of Showtime Sports every night at 10 on Show 2.
Amazing knockouts, heated rivalries, epic battles. You've seen it on Showtime. Now see it again on Show Sports Presents. Every night, Monday through Friday at 10, only on Show 2.
And we are almost set for round 2 here at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Quach in the dark trunks, Bobby McMaster in the camo trunks. And for McMaster, Frank, what does he have to do here in the opening minute to get himself back into this game?
He's got to drive forward. He's got to drive forward in combination, moving his head simultaneously and weaving his way inside. This stand-up distance, Muay Thai game disfavors him, and he's getting beat apart.
Two come together into the Greco clinch. McMaster drops down, and now north-south position, Quach. But Quach, the shorter of the two fighters, having trouble cinching in, and there's McMaster.
We've seen this before.
Yes, it was like a deja vu almost to the Muslim fight, but he popped out when he got the slam.
Now we know Bobby always goes back to his wrestling. He's a phenomenal wrestler, but wrestling takes a lot of energy, lifting, slamming, turning those corners, lifting the body.
And you're right, Stephen, learning from the mistake of the Cornbury fight, and that, you know what, if you're going to lose, might as well learn something from it and not do it again the next time. And McMaster now maybe being caught in a submission attempt there by Quach.
I think it's imperative that McMaster keep this fight down because he doesn't want to stand back up, and now he lost it. He should have kept top control, Frank.
I agree. And this clinch game, I think, disfavors him as well, unless he's ripping on those hips and making distance.
Doesn't that kind of strike you as being odd, though, being the taller fighter, that the clinch is not in his favor? Quach really doing a good job of dominating the clinch.
It's a matter of practice.
Yep.
It's a matter of practice, and you can tell that his technique is not to practice Muay Thai clinches.
And Muay Thai is the...
Oh, and McMaster's tagged with that right hand.
Quach is in control here.
And McMaster trying to close the distance, but when they come to the clinch, Quach remains the more active of the two fighters, and now goes downstairs with that inside cut kick. So you're right, really putting his Muay Thai skills on display is Quach.
And Quach is the only one doing damage from the clinch.
1, 2. Oh, there's a windmill punch by McMaster.
That was a hard shot. He needs to follow that up.
And it looks like desperate times are beginning to call for desperate measures for Bobby Wolverine McMaster.
Wolverine has his back to the fence nearly, but he's trying to strike back on for the body shots. He's got to get Quach down on the floor again and not use a lot of energy in doing it.
Body kick by Quach, also delivered a nice elbow right up the middle, midway through round 2.
The experience Quach has in fighting all over the world, having almost twice as many fights as McMasters, is in evidence here.
And the experience definitely, as you say, Stephen, belonging to Bao Quach. There's an overhand left by McMaster. Oh, and that right hand catches Quach. He catches the kick now, picking up the singles, McMaster. And you're right, it's like the Muay Thai skills are overmatching the wrestling skills of McMaster, but McMaster now going downstairs to the body.
That's a smart idea because Quach may be fading just a little bit. It would really be important for McMaster to go to the body.
Quach is getting a little bit tired. You can see the way he's walking and stalking. He's not cutting it off anymore. He's just kind of wading his way in there, wading into battle.
McMaster staggers forward with that left hand.
McMaster's got to go back to the basics of boxing. That start snapping that jab, start getting Quach's head up, start controlling that position again.
Nice right hook to the body by Quach.
All power shots from Quach, and that may be a thing that may tax his system later on in the fight.
It would behoove him to set it up with a jab.
Yep. Yes. He's got to get back to the work mode, not the bang mode.
We are headed into the final minute of round 2, an action-packed fight between Bao Quach and Bobby McMaster. And it looks like, you're right, fatigue may be setting in for Bao Quach. Mouth open, backing up, pace beginning to slow just a bit. Nice shot to the body.
McMaster's own fatigue is causing him not to be able to exploit that deficit for Quach.
And he gets tagged with that left hand. You can hear the corner imploring Oyama imploring Quach to keep the jab pumping.
I think McMaster should just throw the jab, a lot of jabs.
Jab it, just control the distance with the jab.
Everything would come behind the jab. The right hand, get ready for the low kick off the jab, but use the jab a lot and not even worry about power. Just try and set up the right low kick or the right head kick or the right hand.
Final 10 seconds. Who will end this round in a flurry? They come together into the clinch. Bao Quach in total control of this matchup against Bobby Wolverine McMaster.
Damaging fight.
We're seeing a lot of wear and tear physically on McMaster as he slows down right there.
Oh, yeah.
But Bao Quach is feeling it on the inside.
Yeah, I agree.
He's winning, but he's starting to run out of gas a little bit.
So Frank, put your coach's hat on. I know you're a former coach in the IFL. If you're calling Oyama, what are you telling Bao Quach? And then, of course, if you're in McMaster's corner, Bill Mahoney, Scott Lockhart, what are you telling your charge there?
Well, I'd be telling Quach to get on his toes, get back to that Thai game, that punch kick combo. He is destroying McMaster with the kicks, with the elbows, with the inside. And if I was McMaster's coach, I would tell him, get that jab going. Control that head. The person who jabs first controls the first strike, sets everything up, like Steven said, sets every single strike up. He needs to go back to the basics, and then if he wants to shoot, it'll be there.
Okay, let's fight.
Third and final round underway.
Quach just needs to set those kicks up a little more. Throw something out there, reach out there, anything. He's making great damage, but he'd have so much more power and forward motion if he led with a punch.
And attacking the lead leg of McMaster. And really starting to just chop away at that leg.
McMasters hasn't been able to counter that left low kick with his own right low kick. That would be the good counter. If you're going to eat the shot, throw your own right low kick. because the guy will be totally turned to the side, waiting to get kicked in the back of the leg.
Quach just misses with an uppercut, but he's also been the more effective counter striker in this fight.
Well, and the sound of those kicks is going to influence these judges because they look and sound damaging.
Quach is not slick, but he's very powerful and very accurate.
And one of these kicks is going to knock his leg out. It's going to knock McMasters' leg right out from underneath him. The other thing McMaster can do is he can check that kick and step in right behind it. Because like we said earlier, Quach doesn't move his head. He's right there to be hit. But those kicks are so powerful, you can't sustain them.
And McMaster lunged forward again with that overhand right, missed, and Quach, as you mentioned, didn't move at all, stayed in the pocket, and just continues to go back to the drawing board.
Stylistically, this has been a bad matchup, but we don't know. Is McMaster in that thinking mode too much? Is that the problem? Or is it just a stylistic bad matchup?
Well, he's in a fight for his life, and he just needs to let it go. He needs to go back to basics, let the hands go, get the wrestling going. And
Is it safe to say that this is Bao Quach's fight to lose, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Bao Quach is in complete control. He's winning this round. We've still got close to 3 minutes left. He's done most of the damage, and he's been the aggressor. So you have to give him the first 2 rounds.
And continues to diligently work away on the lead leg of McMaster.
Especially now, McMaster has no block for that kick, so he has to run away. And when you run away, you're defending automatically. You're running away.
There's a nice shot by McMaster, backed Quach up momentarily and going for the fences with that overhand right back to the clinch.
He's got to, McMaster has got to keep the clinch here at all costs, but he's got to get away from that knee, let go of the clinch again, back on the outside. It's not a good strategy.
And Quach,
he's got to keep it on the inside.
And Quach doing a good job in the clinch of creating that separation, though, not staying in the clinch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that was a mental error of McMaster to let go of that clinch at that time. He should have used that cage. He should have used the angle, do some body work, do some leg work.
We saw McMaster throw his own right low kick, but Quach checked it perfectly. Against the guy who's as good at Muay Thai as Quach is now, you got to use the jab, you got to use the right hand to fake, and then drop the low kick. You can't just throw the low kick by itself.
Minute and a half remaining, and Quach now beginning to unleash the fury of Hades on McMaster's face, and you can tell that McMaster's face is showing the wear and tear of this matchup, although Quach too beginning to show some bruising.
Well, this punching exchange is the fight that I didn't think Quach should fight. I didn't think he should stand there and swing with him. I thought that was a little too dangerous. Stay on the game. Stay on the punch, kick, punch, kick.
He had a good opportunity right there. Quach takes him down. Oh, this is not going to get pretty here.
Last minute of the fight. McMaster on his back. Quach with some shoulder strikes there in the half guard. And really, it's a loose half guard, Frank. He can slide that left leg up, go to mount.
I think he's resting and kind of defending here a little bit. He needs to be going for holds. He's got to go for broke.
Yeah, he does. He needs a submission here or a knockout. He's not going to get the knockout. 30 seconds left. Got to just swing that leg up there, try to triangle the arm. Got to do something. Kimura, anything.
Coloriyama yelling out 30 seconds to his fighter, Quach, giving them a sense of how much time is left. Doesn't want to make that critical error in a fight that he is, for the better part of 2, almost 3 rounds, has controlled, and McMaster slowly getting to his feet. 2 warriors going the distance here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the fans showing their appreciation as we are going to the judges' scorecards.
Wow. That was a tough match.
That was a tough match. We had 2 guys that were patient, but one guy was patient and aggressive, and that was the difference for Bao Quach.
Quach will not escape unfazed, as a mouse underneath his left eye, and it seemed that it was a straight right hand. I almost thought that maybe he got a finger in the eye. It seemed to affect him a bit in that 3rd round, but Bobby McMaster on his feet. How would you score the fight, Frank?
I think that Quach took every round. I just think that he dominated the fight technically and was in control of doing the most amount of damage, and that's what the game is about. The most amount of damage with the least amount of effort and the least amount of damage to yourself. And if I were Bobby McMasters' coach, I would teach him tomorrow how to leg check. Because that's like, you know, that's MMA 101, and he needs to know how to stop those kicks.
Bobby McMasters sharing a few words with Frank Shamrock here at cage side, and we're happy to have the legend Frank Shamrock with us, preparing for his fight against Kung Lee on March 29th at HP Pavilion and Showtime. It'll be a Strikeforce Elite XC presentation that you can catch live right here on Showtime. And don't forget, show.com/Pro Elite for all kinds of mixed martial arts products, some great merchandise for the MMA fan in your family or circle of friends. Check out show.com/Pro Elite. Also on show.com/Pro Elite, you can get interviews from tonight's Shoxc event. The crew is capturing exclusive pre- and post-fight interviews with fighters from tonight's star-studded event. You can check out those exclusive behind-the-scenes interviews only at show.com/Pro Elite. Now it's time for our official decision. Let's take you to cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey, after 3 rounds of fighting, we go to the scorecards. The judges' scoring is as follows: 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Quach.
Quach extends his winning streak to 6 in a row with a unanimous decision win over Bobby McMaster.
Okay, Bao, were you surprised at his lack of activity?
No, I wasn't. I kind of expected him to come out like that. Maybe I thought he was going to be a little more aggressive and take for the shot more, but I think he wanted to stand a little more, so it made it more exciting.
What went right for you in this fight?
I gotta win, I gotta win, I gotta win. All my friends at home, my coaches, my strength and conditioning coach, Brandon Beauvais, Tyrone. I want to thank them all the No Limits people, everyone at home watching me. Thank you.
I gotta say, my pick for your best weapon is probably your left kick. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I work on my kicks every day, all the time. Colin right there, he's my trainer. He helps me do everything. Jiva, my jiu-jitsu trainer, helps me with everything else also. So I have a good set of coaches to learn from. So I feel comfortable everywhere I go, on the bottom, on top, everywhere.
Congratulations. Let's hear it for him, Quach.
Quach proves he's got more game than Parker Brothers, improving to 12-8-1 with a impressive performance against Bobby McMaster and picking up the unanimous decision victory. Well, coming up next, it's the penultimate fight of the night. Paul Daley takes on Sammy Morgan in welterweight action, and coming your way in March, it's a shootout in San Jose on Showtime.
March 29th, live on Showtime. The main event features the legend Frank Shamrock taking on the hard-hitting Kung Lee. Don't miss one of the most anticipated fights in mixed martial arts. Frank Shamrock takes on Kung Lee. Don't miss it.
Looking forward to that battle of San Jose.
Would you please welcome Frank Shamrock.
Frank, how's the knee?
The knee's great, man. I rehabbed it, and they carried me out of the cage, but I'm back in the cage, and I'm ready to roll.
Now, the big news is that you're going to be having that, shall we say, hometown battle with Kong Lee. In preparation for that fight, among other things, have you been watching Enter the Dragon?
Well, Kong Lee's a great martial artist, and I know he's going to bring his A game. I've sparred with him before. The guy's no joke. He's the real deal, but there's only one Frank Shamrock, so that's all I can say.
Okay, give us a mini recap or breakdown of how that fight is going to unfold, Frank.
Well, it'll look like this. I'm going to come out, take the center of the ring. He's going to run for me like a girl. I'm going to hit him a few times. He's going to realize he's overmatched, and he's going to take me down and start wrestling.
Now, you've never been at a shortage for words, Frank. Where do you think that you stand in, shall we say, the brief history of mixed martial arts?
Where do I stand? I helped create this sport. Me and my brother, the Shamrock brothers and the Shamrock family, we've been here since the beginning. You know, it's my sport. It's my game. This is my record. This is what I do every day, all day long, so.
Frank, it's always a pleasure, and thanks for helping us out at ringside.
Man, it's great to be here. Showtime. Shoxc, you guys. Thank you.
Frank Shamrock.
The ever-loquacious Frank Shamrock, and looking forward to his collision with Kong Lee, the Battle of San Jose, March 29th, live on Showtime. And Ross Ebanez still to come in our main event, getting his pre-fight stretch in, and he takes on Eddie Alvarez. That should be a dynamite fight featuring all kinds of fireworks. So stay tuned for the main event still to come here tonight. Coming up, the explosive power of Paul Daley meets the superlative submission skills of Sammy the Squeeze Morgan in what should be a welterweight war.
MMA has always been my passion because I wanted to go out and test every aspect of my ability, whether it be ground wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. I'm that good where you can't prepare for me on short notice. What drives me to the cage? I got a lot of demons to battle. There's one tonight. Absolutely I have something to prove. You know, I'm not going out there to lose. We're warriors. It's a war. We're going out there to make a better life for us and our family. It is a war.
Sammy the Squeeze Morgan appeared on the second season of The Ultimate Fighter and has really cut his teeth in all kinds of mixed martial arts organizations all over the world. In addition to the UFC, the veteran of 28 pro fights has also competed in Strikeforce, King of the Cage, and Ring of Fire, and tonight makes his Shoxc debut.
Sammy Morgan is a veteran of 28 fights and has fought on some very big shows, so he's used to the pressure. And with 14 out of his 19 wins by submission, we know he can get things done on the floor.
He can get things done. He's very skilled and he's very confident. Maybe a little too confident when talking to him.
I think I'd be confident too if I had that haircut.
Well, you gotta have some serious confidence if you're gonna rock that. He made a weird statement, which I thought was interesting, and that is, Paul Daley is good enough to beat.
Conditioning has been an issue at times for Morgan, but he was training in Big Bear, California, helping Joe Stevenson prepare for his UFC lightweight fight last week. And of course, congratulations go out to BJ Penn, the new UFC lightweight champion. So Morgan tonight takes on, well, a man who comes to us from the UK with dynamite in both hands and both feet.
Fight because I enjoy fighting. I've always been a fighter. I've fought since I was a little kid, and now I'm fighting and getting paid. You know, to be an MMA fighter is to achieve my dream. I have devastating everything. You know, I have devastating knees, I have devastating punches, I have devastating kicks. You know, I'm bringing everything. Yeah, Sam Morgan is unpredictable on his feet and is unpredictable on the ground. You know, I got to watch out for a lot of stuff coming from awkward angles and just to make sure that I do what I do. When I've just knocked somebody out, I feel happy. I've got money in my pocket and I'm headed straight to the bar. Okay, I just want to say to the fans back in the UK, thanks for the support. You know, it's you guys that have got me here. Your belief in my ability has got me here, and just stick with me.
Paul Semtex Daley, introduced to martial arts when he began taking karate at the age of 7. He has developed into one of the top strikers in all of the United Kingdom. He's been known to hold portions of his training camp, though, in Holland, Stephen. And you know, Holland has produced some of the best K1 kickboxers, and it's also home to some of the world's most technical Muay Thai strikers and the best strikers, period, including our good friend, El Guapo Basrusin.
Yeah, Holland has got some of the greatest people and a great training regimen there. And Paul Daley, he's the Cage Rage welterweight champion, and he faced, speaking of K1, the United States K1 champion, Dwayne Bang Ludwig, and that was on the undercard of the Elite XC Shamrock versus Baroni show. Daley surprised everyone by going toe-to-toe and strike for strike with a dangerous kickboxer, finally seizing the upper hand and finishing Ludwig with a barrage of punches, sending a message to the welterweight division that he had arrived.
I like Paul Daley in this fight. He needs to keep his standing. He needs to strike first, and he needs to dominate Sam Morgan positionally and striking. Sam Morgan is different. He's unexpected. He's unorthodox. I think Paul Daley is ready for him.
Paul Daley is explosive. One-punch knockout power and ever-improving ground game. It's going to be a tall order for Sam Morgan. If he can get him down, he can do his magic. If he can't, it may be over quick.
Sam's chance is on the ground. He's very crafty.
All right, let's give you the 4-1-1 on these two warriors. It's a welterweight matchup. Morgan is 2 years older than Daley, 2 inches taller than the Englishman. Daley weighed in at 171.7 pounds, Morgan at 171.4. All right, we're set for the introductions. Here's Cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey, our next bout is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. We are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first out of the blue corner. He stands at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 171.4 pounds. This freestyle fighter has a professional record of 19 wins and 9 losses. Representing Team Bison from St. Paul, Minnesota, please welcome Sam the Squeeze Morgan. And his opponent out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches, weighing in at 171.7 pounds. He's a Muay Thai Dutch style specialist with a professional record of 16 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. Representing Rough House Gym, all the way from Nottingham, England, he is Paul Semtex Daley. Your referee in charge of the action, Dan Mergliata.
We are set for 3 5-minute rounds. Paul Semtex Daley, defending Cage Rage welterweight champion. Showtime will be bringing you Cage Rage action March 8th.
Let's go fight.
Sammy Morgan coming off a disappointing loss to Kung Lee. Your next opponent, Frank Shamrock, and wasting little time and taking Daley to the ground. But look at Paul Daley getting right back up on his feet.
Oh, it was a beautiful power double leg takedown. I mean, he totally took him down. He skipped all the way to side position, and Paul just popped right up like it was nothing.
Paul's been practicing that scoot back up, which was made popular by BJ Penn, you, and also Chuck Liddell is really good at that too.
We haven't seen a lot of Paul Daley on his back, but there it is there. Sam's kind of asserting himself like he said he was going to do. Was it confidence, overconfidence, or did he know what he was talking about?
Sammy Morgan, always good for a quote at one of the press conferences, told everyone that he was going to send Daley back home to his mummy so he could have some tea and crumpets with her.
Morgan had a lot of good quotes, didn't he?
He did.
He said he's going to be like a bomb squad and diffuse the situation. Of course, Paul Daley said that he looks forward to working on the ground, so now he got his wish.
And of course, Frank, you mentioned it earlier, the one that really struck me. Daley is good enough to beat.
That was a weird statement to me. But Sam, I love the way that not only did he work hard for the takedown, but he immediately pushed him into the cage. He's obviously got the ring savvy to use that cage, that extra wall, to his advantage, and he's tagging him right here with shoulder strikes.
Guys, Frank, let's go. Come on.
Referee Mergliata bringing them back up to their feet. And one would think this would behoove Daley. Good start by Sammy Morgan again, going for the takedown. This time engaging in a Greco clinch with Paul Daley.
Paul did something really good. He had over-under, but he scooted Morgan upright. He didn't let Morgan stay down low.
There's a knee by Daley.
Yeah, I don't know about that stand-up, you guys. It seemed like Sam was doing good work down there. He had ring control. He was in. He had it going on.
I tend to
for whatever reason, they brought him up.
That was a little bit on the quick side. Daley working to stand back up. He gets to stand up again.
Now looking for the tie clinch, and there are those knees, the Dutch-style knees, and a level trajectory elbow by Daley. Good takedown defense, and another knee and elbow. And this one is over. This fight is over.
Right. You're from hell.
And it is quite obvious to anyone watching tonight that Paul Semtex Daley is swimming in the deep end of the talent pool in Shoxc. Daley records the victory over Sammy Morgan here in round one, and obviously Sammy Morgan disappointed in the outcome.
Well, not only disappointed, but he ate the big elbow, and I think he kind of got robbed on that stand-up. I think he earned the ground game. He should have had a chance to play it out. They stood him up premature, I thought, and he paid for it.
Cage-weight welterweight champion paying homage to his native country of England, Stephen.
Yeah, and he should also pay homage to the Muay Thai he learned in Holland, because the way he would scoop the underhook and then set up the Muay Thai clinch and use the elbow right out of the clinch, Frank, that was Muay Thai 101. It was beautiful.
Beautiful combination, beautiful flow.
Okay, here's the scoot up. Daley gets back to his feet on his own without the referee. Now he's going for a plum here. Gets it, nice knee to the body. Another one. At first, there was that left elbow, it was like an overhand elbow. Look at that scoop with the underhook. It gets him standing back up, and there it is, right behind the ear. Ouch!
And Daley yelling right at us.
Yeah, I've known Paul for a while. Been commentating over there at Cage Rage for a while. And look at this is some of the best Muay Thai that we've seen here in Elite XC. Look at that scoop, that underhook, and watch this elbow from the clinch. Bam!
I think that's what you call an eviscerating elbow by Paul Semtex Daley as he cleans Morgan's Quach with that one.
That was true mixed martial arts. There was boxing, there was wrestling, there was Muay Thai. Everything combined in one solid flow. That, my man, is a very, very bad dude.
All right, let's make it official. Here's Cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest comes to a halt at 2 minutes, 10 seconds of the first round for your winner by knockout, Paul Semtex Daley.
Okay, Paul. There was a quick stand-up early in the round. Did you think he was doing enough to keep down, or did you think that was too quick?
No, I thought it was a correct stand-up. You know, he was hitting me with those little shoulders that he was doing. They didn't hurt much. I wouldn't see that as being really active. He didn't advance his position enough in. So I think the ref did a good job.
Well, you did a lot of perfect stand-ups on your own. And where did you learn that technique?
The technique, to get up off the bottom, or to get up off the bottom? Well, I've been working. I had the opportunity to work with some guys at Legends MMA over in LA, some real top-level Olympic wrestlers. And my team back home, Team Roughhouse in Nottingham, we got some great wrestlers there. And, you know, I'm a striker. I'm always going to be taken down. You know, no one can fuck with me standing up. So they're always going to take me down. So all I have to do is keep training to get back up.
Paul, we've been working together for a couple of years over in England, but this is the first time that I've seen you use that elbow from hell. Where did you develop that?
Oh, yeah, we always do knee, elbow, knee, elbow. My Thai coach, Rupert Smiley, is one of the best guys in the UK, and we train that all the time. You know, when I landed that knee and I landed that elbow, it was just like hitting the pads. You know, gets the results.
A lot of good fighters here in Elite XC, Shoxc, 170 pounds, 160 pounds. Eddie Alvarez is up a little later. Who would you like to fight next?
Man, there are a lot of guys in Elite XC at the moment. I'm here to be the champion. I don't fly all the way from the UK to just take part. You know, I'm here to be the champion. I believe I'm the best. I know Eddie's got a lot of fans out there. Maybe they'd like to see that fight.
but I guarantee you, I won't be losing that fight. I won't be losing any fights in Elite XC, and all I'll be delivering is knockouts. If Eddie wants to fight, I'm right here. If Jake Shields wants to fight, I'm right here. I'm the best. I keep telling everybody I'm the best, and I'm here to prove I'm the best. All the way from England, I am the fucking best. Recognize that.
Hell yeah! Paul Daley's on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Daley.
Never at a loss for words and definitely demonstrating a superlative skill. Some say that Morgan may have tasted the agony of defeat. Daley would call it the agony of the elbow. Let's take a look at what's coming up on Showtime Sports. Friday, February 1st, Showbox, the new generation, spotlights knockout sensation Alfredo Angulo against once-beaten Ricardo Cortez. Saturday, February 16th, it's the 2008 debut of Elite XC, headlined by internet legend Kimbo Slice, taking on hard-hitting MMA pioneer Tank Abbott. February 29th, Showbox alum Robert Guerrero returns as a world champion to defend his featherweight belt against the all-action fighter Jason Litzau. March 1st, get ready for another explosive night when boxing's best rivalry continues on Showtime Championship Boxing. It's Vasquez Marquez 3. On the 8th, boxing and MMA back-to-back from the UK. Showtime Championship Boxing brings live from London the cruiserweight title unification between champions Enzo Maccarinelli and David Haye. Immediately following boxing, England's premier MMA franchise hits the US. Elite XC presents Cage Rage, featuring Ken Shamrock. Show XC is back on the 21st, featuring future stars of Elite XC. On the 29th, an MMA super fight between superstars. Elite XC and Strikeforce present Frank Shamrock versus Kung Lee. And in April, Showtime Sports starts off the month on Saturday the 5th with Show XC. It's consecutive nights of boxing the following weekend. 2004 Olympic gold medalist Yuri Yorkis Gamboa makes his Showbox debut on Friday the 11th. On Saturday the 12th, the light heavyweight attraction as champion Chad Dawson takes on former world champion Glenn Johnson. For more information on Showtime Sports and all our programs, visit our website at show.com. Show XC is coming to you live from the city by the boardwalk, Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we are inside the Trump Taj Mahal, where we're just moments away from the main event. Mauro Ranallo along with the fight professor Stephen Quadros and the legend Frank Shamrock. And Stephen, as mentioned, the main event is straight ahead. Eddie Alvarez versus Ross the Boss Ebanez. What does this fight mean to both fighters?
To Ebanez, this is a huge opportunity because he knows he's the underdog. If he gets a win here and does it impressively, there's going to be some really big fights for him in the future. Eddie Alvarez hasn't said it directly, but he knows in his mind that Ross Ebanez is a stepping stone. But he's got to look impressive at every turn at bat from here on out because he wants to be known as the best lightweight in the world.
Frank, what do the two warriors have to do to ensure victory?
Well, Eddie Alvarez is on the verge of stardom. He's got to go out there and control and dominate this fight. Dominate it in a stand-up fashion and dominate it the way that I think he has the skill to do so as an athlete. Ebanez, he needs to go out there and get this game to the ground. Work that clinch. Don't stand up and take chances. Work a clean, smart game. Don't get into a bang-out game with Eddie Alvarez.
All right, in what should be a fantastic main event, the pride of Philadelphia, Eddie Alvarez, makes his highly anticipated Show XC debut against hard-hitting Hawaiian Ross the Boss Ebanez.
Well, I bring to the cage, great stand-up boxing skills, good counter-punching. I'm aggressive. I like to, go after my opponents, get into the clinch, eventually take them down, and work my ground and pound and work my ground game. A lot of fireworks will be out there. Sometimes I got anger in me, I got some aggression. I like to take it out on other guys. That guy got to hit me first to get me kind of pissed off, and once he gets me hit, then I get, kind of fired up inside, but not to the point where I lose it and lose all my composure and training. It doesn't feel like there's any pressure, but I'm fighting in, his hometown, you know, hopefully put on a good show and, you know, be the spoiler.
Ross the Boss Ebanez is known for his relentless aggression. He comes out swinging and comes out fast. He's a staple on the Rumble on the Rock series. Extremely quick, nimble, and willing to go toe-to-toe with anyone. He really is tailor-made for Eddie Alvarez in Alvarez's much-anticipated debut. And, Stephen, I don't think it would surprise anyone if Ebanez were to pull off the upset tonight.
Well, it would surprise a lot of people from Philadelphia. But Ross the Boss Ebanez faced Mike Pyle on the undercard of Elite XC's Destiny early last year. Ross wanted to keep things standing, but Pyle wisely had other ideas and quickly turned things into a jiu-jitsu contest, finally winning via a rear naked choke. But since then, Ebanez has not lost in 3 fights and looks to extend that streak here tonight.
Ebanez has got a great ground game, and really what he needs to do, he's also dangerous because he counter punches. So really what he needs to do is he needs to set up some type of shot, wait for Alvarez to throw a punch, and counter strike him. That's going to open up those takedowns and allow him to get him to the ground and really work that submission game.
Well, we've talked about it all night. It's time for the Shoxc debut, and just listen to this crowd.
I'm a freestyle fighter. I bring excitement to the cage. I always promise my fans it's going to be high-paced, violent fight. So I always promise high-paced violence, and that's what you get when you see me. I think the confidence that I got and everything in the ring, that comes from street fighting. It correlates well. I know I don't have to worry about one guy and not, you know, 2 or 3 guys. I feel a lot safer that there's a referee there, and I just got to fight one guy. And I get paid well for it, so I'm truly blessed. It's just a main event, man. It's not. If I look at it that way in that big spectacular picture, I'll lose focus on what's important, and that's winning the fight. MMA, it's my career. It's how I pay my bills. It's how I take care of my family. It's what I love to do, and I told it, you know, if you do something that you love to do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. So I don't like working that much, so I'm doing something I love.
Eddie Alvarez grew up just several minutes away from where most of the principal photography was shot for the Rocky movies. He made a name for himself on the streets of Kensington as one of its toughest inhabitants. Much like the Rocky character, he overcame a lack of size in various street encounters due to a strong fighting spirit and heavy hands. And no doubt about it, Eddie Alvarez is the favorite here tonight. This crowd is on its feet.
And Eddie developed strong wrestling when he was a 2-time All-American in high school. But it's his stalking, stand, and slug punching style that has gained him a fearsome reputation here in mixed martial arts. And with 8 wins out of 11 by TKO, who could argue?
I love the way he just throws violence out there and embraces it. I love that about him. He wins this fight by stopping the takedown, stalking him down, and banging Ebanez out. He also wins this fight, I think, by being ultra aggressive, by really forcing the action. We know that Ebanez is going to counterpunch him, but don't give him the chance to counterpunch him. Fire him up, go right down the pipe and fire him up.
Let's go to the tail of the tape for this main event at a catch weight of 165 pounds. Ross the Boss Ebanez, 8 years older than Eddie Alvarez. Ebanez is 1 inch taller. They both weigh, well, almost identically the same. Alvarez 164.9, Ebanez 164.8. And again, don't forget, all your fighter bios for Shoxc, Elite XC, and tons more news and information. Visit show.com/pro-elite. And let's take you now to cage announcer Mark Lichtenfeld for the introductions to our...
Okay, Eddie, he's a tough guy.
Oh, hell yeah, he is. He had me a little hesitant to step inside and let some go after he hit me with a couple shots. But I had to keep on circling left to close the show, or else he'd have kept catching me with them left hands that he was getting me with.
He seemed to be fired up in that second round. Did you think he was going to give you some difficulty, or did you just have to turn up the heat?
I was just being patient, to be honest with you. I knew I won the first round, so I knew he had to come out and pressure me, and I thought as he was pressuring me in the second round, he'd slip up and make a mistake, and that's what happened.
Of all the things that we've seen, it was that punch on your knee that did it with that right hand after you tried for that trip.
It's MMA, man. Anything can happen. You know, you can throw a punch from your knee, punch from anywhere. We got 4-ounce gloves here. It's not hard to knock someone out.
But we saw a lot of kicks. We saw knees. The evolution of Eddie Alvarez is beyond just punching.
Yes, we're trying to work up my wrestling and work my jiu-jitsu. My trainer, Stephen Head, great jiu-jitsu coach. Ricky Lee, he's always working my Muay Thai pads, and my boxing coach, Gary. I owe it to them, man. Them and my team. And my fans out here in Philly, I love you guys.
Oh, here they are. They're present. They're Eddie. Where do you think that you stand in the scheme of things in the lightweight division?
I'm bumping down to 160 once and for all. I proved that I could put guys away at 170, and I'm just going to do it at 160, just in more devastating fashion.
Eddie, very impressive show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Eddie Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez, is he headed to the top in Shoxc, an electrifying debut, and caps it off with, well, a histrionic display as well as Frank Shamrock. Nearly 1,000 fans from the city of brotherly love showing their love here in Atlantic City for one of their own, Eddie Alvarez. This guy is the real deal.
He's the real deal. He's a true MMA star. They said the fans would charge him tonight. They not only charged him, they made him explosive.
What about Paul Semtex Daley? Also a force to be reckoned with here in Shoxc.
I was truly impressed with Paul's ability. True mixed martial arts. He did everything in this match. On his back, from the standing, elbows, knees, punch, kick. I mean, that is what mixed martial arts is about.
When do you begin serious training for your fight with Kung Lee, March 29th in San Jose here on Showtime?
I started this morning, and it'll continue up until about 5 days before the fight.
All right, great stuff, Frank. Fight Professor Stephen Quadros. Unbelievable debut for Eddie Alvarez, but let's not discount the toughness of Ross the Boss Ebanez.
Yeah, Ross came out in that second round, and he wasn't a beaten fighter at all, but the thing was, that punch, that phantom punch, that weird punch from the knee, that's going to be a new technique that people are going to practice.
All right, if the action is like this on Showtime for the rest of the year, we're in for one hell of a ride, aren't we, Fred?
Oh, we definitely are. We got Frank Shamrock, we got Ken Shamrock, we got Kimbo. There's a lot of stuff happening here at Showtime.
All right, let's take a look now at what is coming up next on Showtime Sports Calendar. Let's go now to the results. It's Kala Koloche hosts the winner at 4:32 of the opening round via knockout over Frederic Belleton. Tonya Evinger submitted Julie Kedzie via a submission, coming back from a mental lapse against Gina Carano. Quach went the distance, a hard-fought win over Bobby McMasters. And how about Paul Semtex Daley, the Cage Rage welterweight champion, making Sammy Morgan, well, took short work there, opened up, and Showbox is next on your Showtime Sports Calendar. And don't forget, for a complete schedule of Showtime events, log on to show.com. For the Fight Professor Stephen Quadros, the legend Frank Shamrock, and our entire Showtime crew, I'm Mauro Ranallo saying good night from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
That was a wrecking machine. You gotta fight, you're gonna fight. When it's time come to bump, you're gonna bump. You know, and then that's how you're gonna get your respect. You know, I hit him with the left hook, lights out. I wanna kick him in his face. Break his jaw. I'm not tapping out hardcore, man.